and I was barely at 4 centimeters. 4. I need the epidural like yesterday, you know? I threw up, but the vomit in my mouth tasted delicious, so I swallowed the little leftovers in my mouth.
Slapping her with your placenta.
I should have slapped her with my placenta. Bam!
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're gonna share our little
Birth stories. They're not so little. So grab a snack because it's gonna be a long video. I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's gonna be a long video, but
it might be. Well, I mean,
it might be. But so we're gonna start off with Donna's birth story.
So when a mom and a dad love each other.
Okay. Well, no, let's start off by the morning. Yeah, he woke up for work. No.
Yeah, what's for? Because I went in at...
You went super early, huh?
I went at 6 that day. I had left the house at 5.
I don't know. But the point is that I was awake since 3, I remember. And I felt like a stomach pain that would come and go. But it was like little. But I was just kind of like, imagine this is it. But I was like, nah, you know, it's just a regular stomach ache. But then like I felt like it was coming and going. So I started to like time it. And I remember I sat up on the bed. I think that's when you woke up, no?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
And then he asked me like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, I feel like my stomach hurts. And then he's like, nah, go to sleep. He's like, go to sleep. And I was like, okay. And I laid back down and I went back to sleep. And I woke up like at, I think it was like around 7 in the morning. And
I was already at work, right?
Yeah, you were already at work. I woke up and I felt this super strong pain, and I was just like, you know what, like this stomach pain isn't going away. Let me just go take a shower. Maybe like the hot water is gonna like, you know, make me feel better. And then it didn't. I was in the shower like, ugh, you know, like, oh my god, I think this is it, you know. So then his dad took me to the hospital, and I remember I was sitting in the car. And he was sitting, obviously he was driving me, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and I was like, just, you know, trying to hold my, like, the pain. And I remember I was just sitting there looking out the window like, damn, this is it. Like, like, what am I gonna do? You know, and I was texting Alan, like, I think I had already texted you that I was gonna go to the hospital. And, like, I remember your dad was just, like, looking at me, like, I don't know if he remembers or if he's gonna watch this video, but I remember he kept looking at me and he was like, are you in pain? And I was like, yes, but I just didn't want to show it, you know. I didn't want to look like a baby, I guess. I don't know what it was. I don't know if maybe I was like high pain tolerance, because I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance.
No,
well, for the first time.
Because I flicked you sometimes, like
shut up. No, but yeah, so then he dropped me off to the hospital. And then I remember I totally forgot who our doctor was, because I don't know if this happens to everyone. No, actually it didn't happen with Dylan. So no, it does not happen to everyone, but no, I didn't know this at the time. I'm
not gonna name the hospital.
But the hospital sucked.
The hospital sucked, and
yeah,
they were just being bitter.
Yeah,
so.
They were rude. Like, I got there, and in that hospital, or when I used to go see the doctor there, I only saw him like twice. And then the other times it was like a nurse or something, so I never really got to remember his name. And I remember it now just because they mentioned it like
so many times,
and afterwards they're like, oh, is it this one? Because when I got to like the 3rd floor, I remember it was their 3rd floor. I remember I went in with my little diaper bag, and the guy was like, the security guard was like, labor and delivery, and I was like, yeah. And then he was like, 3rd floor, and I was just walking there with like, you know, my contractions hitting me, like, and then I got upstairs, and then the nurses were like, what's your doctor's name? We can't give you a room until your doctor gets here, or until we know your until we know your doctor's name. And like I said, we only saw him maybe like twice throughout the whole pregnancy. I think it was like in the beginning and then halfway through my pregnancy. So then I didn't know, and I was just like in pain, and I called Anna and I was like, do you remember the doctor's name? I don't remember. And he's like, no, I don't remember. And I was just there like having contractions, and I was just like lay my head on the counter of the thing while the nurses were just like, what's the doctor's name? Like all they would talk,
like no sympathy.
No sympathy. They were like, I'm sorry, I can't give you a room. And I was just kind of like, oh my god, I just want to like boom, you know. And then finally I think I remembered the name. No, I think they started mentioning the doctors, because I was literally standing there for like 10 minutes, or what it felt like 10 minutes, laboring. And then that's when they started naming the doctors, and then I was like, that one, it's that one. Oh, and then
that's the first one you mentioned.
No, it was like the third one she mentioned. And then they gave me a room. But yeah, so then tell your part from when I told you that.
So when she told me that it was time, it was probably like already. You didn't wake up. No, it was around 7:30 because I only had an hour into work. And then she told me it's time, and I was like, oh snap! I went to my car, obviously ran into the car. And was this a Monday? Or what day was it?
It was a Monday.
It was on a Monday because I remember traffic, and I was just like, But I put the emergency lights on, and then I was going 65 on 25
on the street,
and I was surprised I didn't get pulled over.
For real.
And then I remember I ran a couple of red lights.
Oh my god.
Like one or two. But it was turning. It was yellow, but it was already towards the end of the yellow, so it was like that's. So I got there, and yeah, that was my side. I don't really remember.
And then you got there at the hospital.
I got there at the hospital, and then you were already in your IV. I mean, you were already like
I was in bed.
You didn't get the epidural.
I remember my mom was there, your mom was there, my sister, my dad was outside.
Everybody was there besides me.
Except for him. And then the nurse came in and she's like, do you want the epidural? And I was like, no, I don't want it. And then she left, and maybe like 5 minutes passed, and then like my contractions got so strong. I felt like I was like getting stabbed. I don't know. You women, you understand what I mean. Like the contractions were just crazy. But I was able to handle them. And then she came in, and then I was like, oh my god, I think I want the epidural. I was like, I just want it, because it was like getting really strong at that point. And she checked me and she's like, oh no, you're gonna give birth already. And I was like, no. I was like,
I still wasn't there actually.
No, you weren't there yet.
You were about to push when I got there.
Yeah, so then the nurse was like, okay, so we can't give you the epidural, but we can give you like something on the IV, which is, I have no idea what it is. But she gave me something in the IV that only helped with one contraction. And then I felt it again, and I was like, that's it? Like, you injected me with whatever it was and only one contraction? Anyways, so then right after she gave me that, they gave me like the oxygen thing. And then my mom was next to me the whole time, and your mom was like by my feet. Yeah, I think so, yeah. And then that's when you came in, remember? And then he just started like holding my hand. And do you want to say that you kind of teared up?
I didn't tear up, I cried.
Okay. I
felt bad like seeing you just like
in pain.
I'm in pain. I was just like, wow. So
yeah, it was crazy. Like I never thought that I was gonna see him like cry or whatever. I just thought I thought you were gonna freak out and just be like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
I don't know what it was. Like I just, as soon as I saw you, I just started bawling. So I was like,
yeah.
Like I wasn't even expecting it. So it was just like,
yeah.
Is this what I'm supposed to do? And like I said, the nurses there, oh my gosh, so horrible, no sympathy. So she made me feel even more stupid for crying. She was like, stop crying.
She told you that?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
She told me in the beginning, and then she told me at the end. Like, no need to cry.
You see those nurses. Yeah, and yeah, so I remember I saw him like crying, and it made me tear up. I was like, why are you crying? Yeah, and then they were already like, okay, we're gonna take you, you're gonna go push or whatever. And then they were already taking me literally right when you got there, maybe like a few minutes. And then they took me in to the other room, and then they were like, all right, you're gonna start pushing. And I was just like, holy moly, like already? Like I literally just got to the hospital, you know?
Whatever drug they gave you, like she snapped out of it. She's like, what, already?
No, I literally stepped out of it after one contraction. Like it didn't give no like relief. Just one contraction relief. Yeah, and then I pushed for not too long, huh? I pushed maybe like 15 times.
But she felt like she wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, like when I was pushing, I just felt like.
But I'm a very curious person, so if I want to see something, I want to see. So I saw everything.
So when I started pushing, I was I didn't know what I was doing, right? And I remember one of the nurses, she was really nice. The one that was on my left. One out of
the 200 staff there.
Yeah, the nurse that was on my left, Ellen was on my right, and I remember I was like pushing, and I didn't know if I was doing it right, and the lady was like, "Yeah, you're doing it right." And then I remember, like right when she was almost out, and I remember you were like, "Oh, I could see her hair." Remember?
Her head.
Her head.
I saw her head. Her hair.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I see her head," and then when he told me that, it motivated me to push even more and stronger, and like, you know, to just have her out. And then I remember I pushed maybe like 2 or 3 more times after that, and she was out.
Yeah,
because I remember you were like, "Oh, she's right there," and I was just like, "Oh, really?"
I wanted to push the doctor and be like, "Let me get
let me get my baby out." Yeah, and then yeah, I pushed her out, and I remember I yelled when she came out. That's all I remember, but I don't remember it being painful, but I remember I just yelled. So
the lights flickered when you yelled.
Okay.
You witch.
He calls me a witch because I can always like see things.
See things.
Anyways,
Sixth sense.
I do.
The third eye.
I have a third eye, and it's wide open. Anyways, so oh yeah, so then I yelled, but I don't think I remember feeling pain, but I'm pretty sure my body felt pain. That's why I yelled.
I think you didn't feel it because of all the
adrenaline or something.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, and then like she came out, and I remember in that hospital, I should have like, I didn't, it was my first time giving birth.
Should have done the Karen thing and write a Yelp review.
Should have written a Yelp review. Yeah, so then I pushed her out, and then they took her to like the under the light thing, you know, into the little thing right next to you in the room. For like 10 minutes, and I remember like the nurse was like on the computer doing something, I don't know, probably writing things about like my labor or whatever. And I hadn't even seen Donna. They didn't show her to me.
You know how they usually put the babies on the chest
or something. Nothing. They didn't even let him cut the umbilical cord. So
I don't even think they let me hold her.
No, they just literally grabbed her, they put her on the thing, and then that was it. And I was just sitting, like laying there waiting, like, oh, am I gonna get my baby, you know?
Even I was like looking at her crying.
Yeah, and I told him like, you follow her, wherever they take her, you go, I don't care, leave me here, you know? And then I asked the nurse, I was like, can I hold her, can I see her, like I haven't even met her, you know? And she was like, I don't have 8 hands. And up to this day I regret not getting up and kicking her with my bloody legs.
Slapping her with your placenta.
I should have slapped her with my placenta. Bam. But yeah, so that happened, and then eventually I finally got to hold her. Oh, I told Alex, can you take a picture of her, because I haven't seen her, you know? And he took a picture of her, and he came in, he showed me the picture. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, she's so little, she's so cute, she's so light-skinned and pink, you know? She came out so clean and beautiful, and her cheeks, so cute. Anyways. And then I remember that time I lost a lot of blood, so I needed a blood transfusion, but I didn't get it because I wanted to go home. So they were like, oh, either you get a blood transfusion or you get like iron pills. And I was like, oh, I'll take iron pills for sure, you know? And then I was able to go home.
I think one thing that's underrated about the hospitals is their hospital food.
Hospital food is pretty damn good. I was excited to eat. Remember the first night Donna was born, and they gave him his own bed, and he was in the bed the whole night snoring like if he was the one who gave birth.
Seeing you was exhausting. It was like,
I have a picture of him sleeping. I'll try to insert it. If he lets me, I'll put the picture of him sleeping like but yeah, and he was
it was my last good sleep before the 3 months of waking up.
Of waking up all-nighters. But I remember. And I was like, and the nurses would come in like every hour, minimum every hour, and he was like
I was actually trying to stay awake, but I was like
yeah. So yeah, the nurses, I remember they would look at him, oh, he's tired, and I was like, oh yeah, he pushed for hours. But yeah, it was cool though. Yeah, and then that was her birth story. Huh? Did we miss anything? I don't think we did. Okay, so now we're gonna start with Dylan's birth story. Let me see.
We woke up in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, so we woke up at 1 in the morning. Okay, so he was born on February 15th, right after Valentine's Day, and a little.
You know what she would say? She was like, man, I hope he's not born on Valentine's Day because I want to have my Valentine's Day dinner. So she had her dinner.
I had my dinner.
But I think all that food pushed him out.
I think he listened and he wanted to eat Valentine's Day dinner too. And yeah, I had him the next day. So at 1 in the morning on the 15th, that's when I started feeling contractions. And I woke him up and I was like, oh, I think it's time. And then we went to the hospital around 3 in the morning when I felt my pain was like at a 7. And then we woke Donna up and then we went to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I was barely 2 centimeters dilated. And I was like, how could this be if I was in less pain with Donna at 7 centimeters than I was with Dylan at 2 centimeters? So I thought that I was for sure gonna start pushing like in 3 hours, you know, at least. Because they say that your second birth is faster and easier than your first. They're wrong. Every pregnancy is different, and
it's a myth.
It's a myth because mine was the opposite. She asked me if I wanted her to inject me with some type of painkiller, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it. And then right before she left, she was like, oh, but just to let you know, it goes through the baby, which I didn't know, and Alan did. For some weird reason, he knew. And he was like, yeah, I was gonna tell you the whatever the drug was, it goes to the baby too, you know. And the nurse said that it would put the baby to sleep, and I said no. So then we left and I was devastated. No, it was just like I was in so much pain. Like it was the pain level with him was way higher than with her. So then we went home, and I had already texted my mom. I texted her when we got home after the first time, and I told her that today was the day. And then she told me, oh, do you want me to come and get Donna? And I was like, no, not yet, because you know I'm still gonna labor at home. We came home and I tried to sleep, which I did. I would fall asleep in between every contraction, which sounds kind of weird because I was getting my contractions every 5 to 7 minutes. But I was able to fall asleep because I love sleep, and my body naturally sleeps like that. About like 7 in the morning, that's when I told my mom, come and get Donna because I am going back to the hospital because I cannot take this pain. And she came and she picked up Donna real quick, and they live like, you know,
they live kind of far, so yeah.
Yeah, so she came and she picked her up, and they took her, and then that's when we headed to the hospital. And I was barely at 4 centimeters. 4. I need the epidural like yesterday, you know. And she was like, okay, you know, we just have to wait because we have to give you an IV, and then after you're done with 2 bags of IV, then you can get an epidural. She came and she gave me the epidural, and I remember after she was done with the epidural, she was like, no, I felt the contraction after she put the epidural. And then I was like, when is the epidural gonna kick in? Because she was like, oh, you can still feel your contractions? And I was like, yes. And she was like, oh, let me give you some more. And I was like, yes. She injected it directly into the IV. Or the pump. I don't even know, to be honest with you, but I just felt that thing kicking into my back, and it numbed me. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I was like, oh yeah, there you go. And she was like, can you feel anything? And I was like, not right now. And she was like, okay, good, because right now you're getting a really strong one, and if you don't feel it, it's because it's working. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, thank you so much. you came so quick. And she was like, you're welcome, you know. And I think she was kind of new too, so people were watching her.
They were watching her, so.
But she did an amazing job. I don't even know her name, but she was amazing. And I was just there like, yes, I can watch TV now. Like, I took naps, huh? I fell asleep. I was like, you know what? I know what's coming after this labor. I need to sleep. So I slept, and we would call Donna, and she would call us every now and then. She would call us from my mom's phone or from her watch. And I ended up giving birth till 5 p.m. 5:30ish. 5:30ish.
5:30ish. And I was there.
And he was there.
I was there throughout the whole time.
The whole time. So he called off as soon as we went to the hospital the first time. So he was there throughout the whole process, which is good because, you know, Donna, you know, I wouldn't be able to, like, you know. I was like, I want my daughter to be acknowledged when they walked in, and then, you know, make sure that they were like, oh, you know,
and that I
not to let her feel left out, you know.
And she said that
had him cut the umbilical cord and me hold him like right after. But yeah, but the first thing that I wrote was to have Donna included in everything, to acknowledge her as a big sister, and they did do that, and it was a good experience. Just kidding. But yeah, they did do that, and it was a good experience the second time around. And then stupid ass voice. My voice. I'm going through puberty, sorry guys. So we wanted to have like a moment, all 4 of us. So we told the nurse, do not let anyone in here. Only my daughter's gonna come in here. So when I called my mom to tell her that he was born already, they headed over, and then she got there at the same time as my sister. Remember? My older sister. Did Jake come? No, huh?
I don't remember. No, she came after, I think. Like
the day after. Yeah. So my mom and my sister got there at the same time, so it was perfect timing because my mom didn't have to stay outside by herself because my dad was sick, so he didn't want to, you know, like, be around baby. So my mom came with Donna, and then my mom and my sister met up outside, and that's when I told Alan, go get them downstairs, bring them up, but I want Donna to come in here, you know, by herself, because I wanted to like have that moment, just us 4. And I took pictures. I'm about to cry. There's a lot of cuts around this scene, around this part, you know.
Because you can hear the
through puberty. So yeah. So then Donna came, she met him, it was good. I took pictures. And yeah. And then that's when family came in. It would have been nice if we would have been doing YouTube when we were pregnant.
Oh, for sure.
That would have been cool to record. I wanted to record it, but I didn't record with Donna because Donna came 2 weeks early, so we didn't really get to plan like, oh, are we gonna film the birth, you know, to have as memories. And he wasn't even home when I was in labor with Donna, so it didn't really work out. So when we had Dylan, we didn't want to film it and not have hers filmed, you know.
We didn't want her to feel like left out or anything like that.
Yeah, we didn't want her to feel like, oh, why does he have one, you know? So we just decided to keep those memories in here, and that's good enough.
I think what the real question is, that what people want to know. What did you order with her, and what did you order with him when it came to the hospital food?
Hospital food? Oh, I don't remember hospital food, but like I could say like my cravings throughout my pregnancy. Like with Donna, I remember I would get Starbucks almost every day.
Starbucks,
Caramel frap. I would get decaf because I thought it would make a difference. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I would get a caramel frap, decaf.
She's hyper to this day, so no, it didn't make
it didn't work.
All that sugar.
Yeah, so I would get a caramel frap with Donna. I love to eat meat with Donna. And
oh yeah, she would eat it raw.
I would, not raw, but it was medium rare. And I know people are like, don't eat rare meat when you're pregnant, but I just craved it. And when it was an accident and it was so delicious, I remember one time, it's gonna sound disgusting, I'm I'm gonna say two things that are disgusting. Maybe not this, I don't know. One is disgusting. Let's start off with the not as disgusting. With Donna, there was this one time I cooked meat and I was so hungry that I cooked the meat on super high heat. So the sides look kind of brown. They look like they were well cooked, but the inside was a little bit like medium rare. And then like the blood kind of dripped down to my plate, and I had beans and spicy salsa or chirmol, whatever you guys know it by. And I had queso fresco, and when the blood dripped into my plate, I grabbed a piece of meat and I mixed it with the beans and the cheese, and I ate it, and it was the most delicious thing I had eaten the whole pregnancy. I felt Donna moving as soon as I swallowed that piece of meat, and I was like, yes, I like it too, let's keep going. And we just ate it. And then there's one time, the nasty part, it was early in the morning and I had a piece of candy in my purse. Do you remember that? It was a pelon pelon, and I ate it and it was so good. But then by the time I finished getting ready, because I ate it as I was getting ready in the morning. I don't know if I was going to work, or I don't know where the hell I was going, but
most likely work, probably.
And I threw up. It was morning sickness, I guess. I threw up, but the vomit in my mouth tasted delicious, so I swallowed the little leftovers in my mouth. And I went about my day. That was so good. And then for Dylan, I would crave, my first craving with Dylan was, remember the chicken sandwich? I had a dream that I was eating a chicken sandwich.
This was before the Nashville hot became a trend.
I know. I hate people that ate all the Nashville hot. By the way, if you eat Nashville hot,
she was the original Nashville hot person, because she got that chicken sandwich that was Nashville hot. Oh, I don't even know if it was Nashville hot, but it was a spicy.
Yes, it was delicious. So I had a dream. I hadn't had any cravings yet, and then one morning I woke up. In my dream, I was eating a chicken sandwich, or I was about to eat a chicken sandwich. I had a chicken sandwich and I dipped it into gravy. Just like that, into gravy. And right when I was about to take a bite, I woke up and I was so mad, and I told Alan, oh, I just had this dream and it was gonna taste so good. And then that same afternoon, when he got off work, we wanted to go out. And I was like, what should we do? I don't know what to do. And he was like, let's go get you that chicken sandwich. And I was like, yes. And I went and I literally ate it. It was so good. So good. And then after that,
it was from KFC, right?
I got it from KFC. And then another craving that I got with Dylan was I would eat, I know it's bad, but I don't care. I would eat a Big Mac with a
Mocha Frap
from McDonald's every Friday after work. I would only work 4 hours on Fridays, and if any of my coworkers see this, they know what I'm talking about. I would be so excited every Friday morning. I'm like, yes, I only work 4 hours, and after this, I'm gonna go get me some
Mocha Frap.
A Mocha Frap and a Big Mac, and I would have to bite the Big Mac and drink the Mocha Frap at the same time. And it was so good, delicious. Until the day I gave birth. But yeah, so that's our birth stories, and I guess my craving stories. My main cravings throughout my pregnancies. The vomit. Nobody, every time I say it to someone, my family is always like, oh, what the fuck, you know, disgusting. But it was so good.
I mean, they shouldn't judge these girls out there that eat, like, not eat, but they crave like unedible stuff. Oh,
remember when I would crave with Donna the detergent?
The detergent?
The powder detergent? I love to wash my clothing. You would buy the powder, the Tide one, the red one. I don't know if they're different colors, but it was like the original Tide. And I would like scoop it, and I would like, and then put a scoop in my clothing. Like literally right here. I was literally like almost inhaling it. And I remember I was like, oh, should I try it? I was like, just one lick. You know, like just one, but I was like, oh, I know it's gonna be bitter and it's gonna kill the craving, I guess. But I would literally just go like and pour. But yeah, so I guess we'll leave you guys with that. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed our probably long story time.
Okay, so I have a dad joke. What kind of edibles do Asians like to eat?
What kind?
Seaweed.
Seaweed is good, by the way, with sushi. So don't take it the wrong way.
Don't take it the wrong way. It's a compliment.
But yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed our story time. We did get the idea of telling you guys our story time by Instagram, because I asked you guys what video ideas you guys, or what kind of content you guys wanted to watch or see from our channel, and one of you guys said to say our birth stories, so that's why we are sharing our birth story. But
if you have any more ideas, please comment
or message me on Instagram. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Yeah, so like and subscribe and comment. Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.